Jesse Williams is an actor well known for his work on Grey's Anatomy, but he also recently received a lot of online attention for his theatre work. The play Take Me Out involved a nude scene, and despite strenuous efforts from the producers to forbid phones in the theatres, someone managed to film it and post it online. It's a trend that is prompting many theatre actors to think twice if the role involves removing their clothes. Actor Maria Tecce joins us now. Maria, good afternoon to you.
Hi, Sean.
You have done. It was in the gate that you. There was a Liaison Dangerous. That you
very
did.
Good pronunciation.
Thank you,
in the Gate Theatre. Yeah.
And before that, do they, when they're discussing the role with you, how much kind of negotiation or planning goes into the nude part?
Well, in this particular production, I was made aware ahead of time that there would be a nude scene or a partial nudity.
Okay.
That was what we talked about, and that's actually what happened. But it was made very clear to me beforehand, and I knew that was what the role entailed. But at the time, I didn't have a problem with it because it was theater, and so it was, when the actors on stage and the audience, there's an amount of trust there. The actors trust the director, the actors trust each other on stage, and we trust the audience. And I trusted the theater that it would be handled tastefully, and that whatever was going to happen would be there specifically to tell the story.
Yeah. No, at the same time. And in those days, were there intimacy coordinators or any of those kind of things?
No, I have two very good friends who have become intimacy coordinators, and there was none of that. But I never felt unsafe. Yeah. And there was also, this sort of care, I think, that they took with me. I felt very much like any interviews that I did, none of those would be exploitative at all, and they weren't. That didn't happen. Yeah, and at the time when the reviews of the play, did they make a big deal about it or anything of that nature? No, they didn't. And I think the director, Michael Barker-Caven, who directed the show, he had a lot of experience directing opera, and I think the way that he handled those scenes was really quite beautiful on stage. Now, of course, I never saw from the audience's point of view. But as far as I know, that the only film made of that show was for posterity. It was made to make a record. And it was made very clear to me that when this was being done, how it was being done, and that it would never be shown to anyone else. Has the world changed so much in 10 years, do you think that? Well, mobile phones, the little things that we all had that fit in your palm, they all had cameras, but I just don't know if it was the same that the audience or the public felt as much ownership over people's images the way that maybe it's happening now with smartphones. But, I think that there's this kind of an agreement between the audience and the actors. This is a moment in time that the actors are giving you a window into this story with these people, these characters, and you are all experiencing this moment at that time on that night for that moment, and then it's gone. And it's a moment that's the live performance. You share it together, and then that's it. It's gone. So this is a very different thing, making a record of something that is never meant to be photographed. Yeah. But it seems like that's what I mean, because they took everyone's phone and put them in those bags. They had guards apparently in front of the stage, and still somebody managed to do it. Yeah, but why? It's extraordinary. If the theater is going to this much hassle and this much care to ensure the safety of the actors on stage, who, by the way, are being very vulnerable. Yeah. Very vulnerable emotionally, and in this case, physically as well. I would really question what goes through someone's mind who says all of this care is being taken to make sure that the actors are safe and that we can all enjoy this moment together. I would question why. I mean, Jesse Williams, a fine actor, he's someone's son, he's someone's husband, he's someone's brother, someone's friend. And I would really question this person who took this image and disseminated it all over the world. Would they think that's okay if it were their father or their brother or their son? That's the question that I would ask. And I would hope that the answer would be no. This then says more about social media and the like, really, than it does the theatre. I think so. Yeah, I think so. If you were offered another role, though, nowadays, Maria, would you kind of think twice about it, and if it involved nudity? I would. Yeah, I have to, and I'm sad to say that, because at that time I had no second thoughts about that on stage. I was part of a wonderful production. I was only one small part of a wonderful production. So, but now after this, and not just after this, but just because smartphones have become so prevalent and people are getting so clever about things, I would think twice. And it makes me sad as a performer to have to be thinking that way.
Yeah. Is it at the same time, just leaving all those things aside, as an actor, you're on a stage and you're partially clothed or fully naked. Is that not terrifying?
Well, but you know, Sean,
I know you're in character, but is it gets more difficult to be in character?
It's not me up there necessarily.
I know.
It's a character.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, that's the gift that we're given as performers, is that we get to step into someone else's clothes, to put on their skin and to be that person at that time. And that's why this is so upsetting, I think, for performers and actors, because the audience pay for a ticket. They come into the theater. Our job as performers and actors is to tell that story to the best of our ability, with this much honesty, with this much vulnerability, with this much openness, and with this much truthfulness. And I would hate to think that this is now going to affect that commitment, that because we commit on stage, the audience commits to honor that with respect. And this is disrespecting that.
This is kind of a dark side. Could it be though that it's, he's the guy off Grey's Anatomy, and you remember when Daniel Radcliffe was in M.xx?
Yeah.
Every single paper, whether it was a tabloid or a broadsheet, was trying to put stripped into the headline or, some kind of reference to this.
Yeah.
There is that little bit of prurience at times.
Well, there's a bit of titillation, for media and marketing. But did you ever see in the marketing from the theater, did you ever see him naked as a publicity photo? No, you didn't.
Of course not, no.
And I think that's, if people go to the theater simply to see him naked, well, that's their choice.
Yeah.
But whether or not they then take a picture of it and then put it on social media, that's a very different thing.
Absolutely. Maria, thanks a million for coming into us today. That was Maria Tecce there.